by. I am Leah Lindeman, author of the Canadian Reminiscence series, and today we're going to be talking about my June reads, which I actually took part in the Olympic readathon during the month of June, and boy, did I ever break my usual number of books that I read is like maximum 6, but I got 8 in this month, so I was really proud of myself. But again, I'm going to another readathon this month, as you may have seen with my Indie Love video. And then I think after this month, if I can't do anything else, I'm going to be totally burnt out. So let me share with you what I read and what my thoughts were on these books. First book I read this month was The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I gave this book, I had a hard time figuring out if I liked this book or if I didn't like this book. And then I originally gave it, I think like a 2.5 stars. No, I was at 3 stars, then 2.5 stars. I finally decided to give it a 3.5 stars. In no way has, I don't know, it was just very conflicting. I don't know what to say about this. Other than that, the author did have a great way of ramping up the tension throughout the book, which I really admired. And what was neat was that this book had an island that the guests and the couple who were getting married were going to get married on this island. And the island was like a character in itself because there were some legends and folklore, and just that the way that the author described the setting made it a character in itself. So that was very interesting. This book fulfilled a category for Hermes, which is the god of travel, and this was basically, you had a bride and groom. They invited their friends and family for their wedding on this island off the coast, on this island off the coast of Ireland. And they were able to snag this property in this island. Why do I keep saying Ireland for island? I think I'm just tired, guys. But they snagged the island for 50% off, which was an amazing detail. The groom, he's charming. He's a reality TV show star. And the bride is she's an entrepreneur. She has a very well-known website and online space, and so they decide to get married there, and they invite their friends, and basically the weekend just kind of weaves through all the, I wouldn't even call it drama. I felt like a lot of it was dirty and just, I don't know, I guess maybe that's why I didn't like it so much. I kind of felt icky reading this book just by the way that the characters interacted with each other. And I'm not saying that the characters weren't crafted well. They were realistic, but I literally didn't like any of them. I think I only kind of sympathized for 2 of them, and that was it. Everybody else I didn't like. I didn't care about. Not that they were bland. They weren't bland. Just I didn't like them or I didn't care about them, which is kind of sad. But there you have it. I think that was a big reason why I didn't like it. Or 3.5 stars. I'm saying I like it, but I just had a lot of issues with it. And the ending was, I'm trying to think, was it predictable? I didn't quite see where it was going. Well, actually, the guy that I did I was suspicious of turned out to have a hand in it. But the main offender of past crimes I did not quite suspect until a certain clue was revealed, and then I was like, oh, okay, but it wasn't the final clue, so I kind of feel good about that. But anyways, if you like a beach read thriller, this book is a good genre for that. And I'm not saying it was bad, it was interesting, but I didn't have a great feeling after reading it. There you have it. And the second book I read this month is Crooked Kingdom. Now, you'll be finding out a lot about that, or how it, I'm doing another book tag this week. So by the way, this book tag that I'm talking about was supposed to come out last week, just didn't work out that way. So you're going to get 2 videos this week. This one, and then I will put out the book tag hopefully on Thursday. But this fulfills 2 of them. So I love this book. I gave it a 5 stars. And also, just Leigh Bardugo did such a wonderful job of crafting the world and really sucking me in and making me care for every single character and what was happening. It was amazing. And I'm going to gush more about this in the book tag, so I won't say too much other than if you want to know a little bit of the synopsis, you have the crows. After Six of Crows, it launches straight into trying to rescue Inej from the head merchant in Ketterdam. And what kind of starts off as a rescue mission quickly embroils the whole city of Ketterdam and really launches more into a more epic story than just their group against the merchant. So I won't say much more than that. All I'm saying is that you have to read it if you like dark fantasy, a fantasy. This book is absolutely amazing. Now this book wasn't exactly a paperback that I read. It was Murder at Whitbey Abbey by Cassandra Clare, and this one I picked up as an audiobook. It did not fulfill, oh, I forgot to tell you. Crooked Kingdom fulfilled the Nyx category, which was the last book of a series or a duology. There. Now we're going to go on to Murder at Whitbey Abbey, and this did not fulfill any of the categories, but I thought, hey, I can rack up some extra points just by listening to it, because if you fulfill the category, it was 30 points, and if you didn't, it was 20 points. So 20 points is still 20 points. And this was available from my library. They offer audiobooks. So I picked it up, and it was very interesting. I gave it a 4 stars. It is a murder mystery set in the Middle Ages, which is not anything I've ever read before. So I have to say that was a very unique experience. And the lady, now I didn't listen to this at first, probably the first 2 hours just in the normal speed, but then I sped it up quite a bit just because I wanted to get it done as much as I could. But I still was able to understand. And I have to say the woman voicing or narrating the whole book did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed her expressions and the different ways she voiced the characters. It really brought the whole book to life. So good job, narrator of Murder of Whitbey Abbey. And yes, so you have this nun who goes with a few of her brothers from the monk side of things. I know I'm not saying this right at all, but they go to this abbey, and she's looking into retrieving an artifact for her, I guess, sect of nuns that they can have, like a holy artifact. But quickly they find out that someone's been murdered, and then I think there was a double murder. I was listening to this while I was either trying to do dishes or just housework and kids running around, so sometimes they would obviously interrupt, and then I would let it run while I'm trying to listen. It was a little hectic this month with the reading and the listening, but I got through it. But I did enjoy it overall. It was a great listen. Next book I read was The Gates of Zion by Bodhi Thone, and this was a it was good for the category of EOS, which is the first book of the series, and this is the first book of the Zion Chronicle series. It is in historical fiction, a Christian historical fiction. I've had this on my shelves for a while, and I just picked up the series because a friend said it was really good. Overall, I did like it. I gave it a 4 stars. I thought, I don't know anything about the history of the Jews after World War II, right? I think a lot of us know about what happened to them and the atrocities that they faced, but going from that to, okay, well, what's next for us as a nation of people? As, you know, what's their identity? Where do they go? And so it really, I thought it was tastefully done, how it showed the antagonism between the Jews and the Palestinians, and that neither side is right, in the sense that neither side is innocent and neither side is pure, and there are traitors on both sides, and you know that there's this issue that they need to go through. And It's about this young American journalist who is there in Palestine, I think with her uncle or father. I could be I could be wrong. And she meets this guy there who's a historian, professor of history, and she's starting to fall in love with him. But then her ex from LA, who's an American fighter pilot, decides he's going to go there and surprise her because he's still in love with her. I have to say the romance was frustrating in this book. I think it kind of took away from what could have been a better story, a 5-star story. I really didn't like the ex. He was so obnoxious and almost, I don't know, I just didn't like him at all. And I just didn't, he wasn't believable. He wasn't likable. He wasn't believable. Her, I liked, but I was frustrated with her because she was kind of playing the two guys. That's what you get with romance books. I find it so hard to find a very tasteful romance. And some of it was okay, but some of it was just, well. And then the history professor that she's falling in love with, he has, he feels strongly for her. But then this new girl pops in. So it's almost like a love square, okay? But I didn't think it was done that amazingly well. And some parts were cheesy. Anyways, it's still the story in itself, the main story of them, the three of them, helping the Jews to fight for their homeland was definitely will keep me going through the series. I'm hoping that the romance is going to be better, but it was just frustrating overall. So there you have it. But 4 stars. I enjoyed the prose and enjoyed the story. After Gates of Zion, I read Scratches by Joshua Marcella. I was so excited to get to this because Jay Maddox, Nikki at Dark Between Pages, and just other booktubers that I've heard talk about this, Brad Proctor, the horror community booktubers basically said that this was amazing. And then I've been seeing Joshua Marcella all over in other videos, and I just think it's cool because I'm a stay-at-home mom with kids. He's a stay-at-home dad with kids, so a lot of the things that he's talked about I can really relate to. So I said, it'd be really neat to support everyone's read that they love and to support Joshua. So I picked this up from Amazon, and it was a great debut novel. I gave this 4 stars. The only thing I would say is that I really would have loved a little bit more showing than telling in certain sections. Like certain sections I was like, oh, that was fast. Now it is a novella, and that's fine. It's fine to write novellas. I've written 2, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I just definitely would have preferred a little bit more showing. But the story itself, I loved the intricacies of the relationship between Connor and his mother, and why their relationship is lackluster, and the history behind the house, and why she didn't want to be there, but she kind of had to be there because it was given to her as an inheritance. And then obviously those scratches you hear in the night, what are they? They are not part of your imagination. So I really saw the passion in this book that Joshua put into the story. Loved that. I could just feel it while I was reading off the pages. And I am interested to read the prequel, which is Severed, which focuses on the father's journey, I guess, as a veteran. But I think in the book he's in the Vietnam War. Anyways, it was pretty creepy. I was able to read it at night. I actually finished it in a night. And I was okay. I was unscathed. But it's definitely creepy, and I'm just glad that they were able to get out of there alive. But the person who came to the house after them, debatable. What did I read next? Next, I read I See You by Claire McIntosh. Now, if you want to know more about this, the Rambling Readers and I had a live discussion just this past Sunday on July 4th. You can go to Linda's channel at Linda's World of Books. Go ahead and subscribe to her. She's an amazing person. If you like cats, you see cats in her live videos all the time, or hear them meowing. And but she's really sweet, and I really enjoy watching her channel and subscribing to that, so go ahead and do that. But yeah, we talked on her channel about ICU quite a bit, and we actually also talked quite a bit about personal lives too, and just, you know, lack of privacy in general. But the main premise of this story is that there's a woman who sees an advert for herself in the newspaper as a sex worker. And she's like, what? I didn't put that picture in there. And then she starts seeing pictures of other women that she goes to work, like same transit, they take the same train or whatever, same route. And she sees those women, and then she finds that one of them was murdered. And then she's like, no, there's something wrong with this. Her name's Melissa, by the way. And she goes, and Kelly is the police officer that's not quite on the case at first, but then she somehow wrangles her way into working with the group that is trying to solve the mystery of who is behind this. How do they know that these women's commute, like every detail, and they actually they get into the site where there's details of every woman, and basically it's a site where men can go and either do whatever they want with the person that they choose to see. So this was, overall, I gave it 4 stars. I loved the concept. It was such a strong, strong concept. And because of that, I think the concept mostly carried me over in like throughout the end to the book and to the end of the book. However, there were there were issues with it. I really liked it. I think it's mainly because of the concept, because it was so strong. I think without the concept, if it had been weaker, I would have given it 3.5 or 3 stars. But because the concept was so strong, I gave it 4 stars. But the action wasn't quite as intense as I thought it would be in the beginning. There was a buildup of tension, but action, it was missing that in the beginning. Also, I did find it difficult when they switched POVs. So you would have Melissa talking, then you would have Kelly, the officer, talking. Then, like, it didn't, I would have to second guess myself and go back a couple of times, like, wait, who's talking? Where are we again? That was confusing. So, Claire McIntosh, maybe start off with, not Holly, Melissa did this, or Kelly did this, so we know whose POV we're at, or just simply put their name at the top and we'll know who you're talking about. I really loved in between, or almost at the end of every chapter, not every chapter, but most chapters, there was the POV of the killer talking to you, the reader. I really loved that. It was a very personal, like, taunt, I felt, against me, even though I'm not a character in this book, but that was very well done. Bravo. Overall, the ending, that was it was fast, and it was predictable. I think I figured it out maybe, I don't know when, but I did definitely figured it out. And then there were such telling clues as, oh, okay, it's that person, you know, and then now you're just waiting to see how stupid they really are to go along with the plan or not. Anyways, if you like the concept was amazing, but you might be disappointed because of what I've talked about already. All right. Oh my goodness, my glasses. And then I also listened to another audiobook called When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and I have to say the narrators did an excellent job. There were 2. There was the woman and the guy. So the woman's name is Sydney, and the guy's name is Theo. So Theo and his girlfriend, they are white. They move into a predominantly black neighborhood, or what used to be a black neighborhood, but slowly black people are kind of disappearing, and their neighbors are like, well, where did they go? They went down south for their sick cousin. What? They never told us. And they're a very tight-knit community. And then all of a sudden, one of them, like, they're being picked off one by one. So Sydney is having an issue with this, and she's like, you know, something's not right. And it starts off that she is on a historical tour of her neighborhood, and Theo and his girlfriend are there, and Sydney pipes up with all these interesting facts that are not on the tour that give true homage to the black people of that community from a long time ago. And so the tour lady's like, well, why don't you start your own tour? And then she's like, all right, fine, I will. And Theo, who he really sees a spark in Sydney, and him and his girlfriend are kind of on the outs, like he doesn't really know what's happening with them. And his girlfriend starts acting just psycho and pointing fingers at the black people and saying, you know, like, oh, I don't feel safe here, and she's racist, and she's like, but I'm not racist. It's very obvious that she was. And Sydney is just standing up for herself and her community of people that she loves. And all these new white people are coming in and just kind of forming their own neighborhood watch against the black community's neighborhood watch. Anyway, so Theo ends up helping Sydney with finding information for her actual homegrown tour. And there they stumble deeper into the mystery of where are these people going, like disappearing off to. And it has to do with like a research lab and crazy asylum type of thing. So if you like that, it was good. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. As I said, the narrators did a wonderful job. I really felt like it was authentic. However, I did feel like there were a lot of stereotypes. Like it was kind of in your face. There wasn't enough nuance of the issue of race that I felt could have made the book stronger. But what was good about it was kind of like a rom-com / thriller. So if you don't like a very heavy read thriller, this is a good suggestion. And then the last book I read this month was The Young Elites by Mary Lou, which I found out from, here I'm trying to get the lighting, Lucy from Books and Brushes. Please go subscribe to her channel. She's so sweet. I love her vivacity and her ramblings, and she's just so much fun to watch. And I actually was able to do a live show with her at some point. So she is just a sweetheart. Go and subscribe. She's the one that mentioned The Young Elites. So, oh, I forgot to say, I See You and When No One Was Watching did not count for any categories. Did I miss one? Scratches counted for Hades, something to do with a dead person. And Mary Lou, The Young Elites, fulfilled the category for Zeus, which is a strong patriarchy. So in this book, you have a virus that has swept through the nation and has left some children either disfigured or they have special powers, like gifts, or both, disfigured and with powers. So we follow, oh shoot, what's her name? I just read this. Okay, her name is Adelina, and we follow her. Her and her sister have a father, but the father favors the one that has not been marred and does not have special gifts because he can marry her off, but he can't do that with Adelina. So because he has made a deal with a certain man for her to be a mistress and not a wife, she decides to run away. And when she runs away, she kills her father in the process as he is going after her. And now she's on the run. And the Young Elites are a group of young people who have these powers, and she is saved by Enzo. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm forgetting these names. She's saved by Enzo, and he is the leader of the Young Elites. So they take her in and they begin training her, but they do so with a lot of caution because she is so powerful and so aligned with passion and fear and death that if she doesn't trust them, she can be used as a weapon against them. And Taryn, who is also a young elite but has decided to side with the patriarchy to get rid of the young elites, strikes not a deal with her, but strikes fear into her heart. So Taryn says that he has her sister and she must do as she's told to keep her sister safe. And that is the one relationship in her life that has been rock solid. But at the end, comes out that maybe not everything is as it seems. I gave this a 4 stars. I really loved the action. I liked the main 3 characters and the sister, but the secondary characters were kind of bland. I wanted a little bit more out of them. And the world itself, although it was really well described, also kind of felt a little bland as well. Like, it did not have the same kind of description that Crooked Kingdom had, let's just say that. It didn't have the same attention to detail, and so that would have really made the piece stronger. But overall, an amazing story, great fantasy. I am looking forward to reading books 2 and 3. And that was it. That was the last book. I made it. 8 books. Oh, it was so exhilarating, but at the same time, I am running out of steam here. Thankfully, with the Indie Readathon, I think I am touching like shorter novels and novellas, so that's going to help. I'm looking forward to that. I already shared my TBR in another video, so I'll put that up at the end. Thanks guys for watching and just supporting me and my channel. You guys are all great, and yeah, I hope you have a great week, and I enjoy the book tag surprise this week. It's an extra video, and I hope you enjoy it. It's my mid-year freakout tag. Okay, there you go. Surprise is spoiled, but whatever. So, take care.